The process that you're describing, not involving the police, because we've had this conversation a little earlier about concerns that some people have about not wanting to involve the police or whether you should involve the police at an early stage. Under the TRO, the police are not involved potentially at all. Could all be done through the marshal.
Potentially, yep.
And it could take up, conceivably, even if everything works according to plan, easily could take 14 days before papers are served. And you've got somebody who is continuously threatening someone with physical pain or injury, and all that's happened up until that point is some papers were served, processed through the court system, and so forth, up till that 14th day, and maybe even 28 days if the marshal says he needs more time. Under the risk warrant, stuff happens immediately. Now, I'll grant you, maybe a circumstance where someone doesn't know that somebody has firearms, and that could be a surprise, and a very, very negative one if something happens with those firearms. But still, under the risk warrant, action is taken immediately to deal with an immediate threat. And the firearms are taken out of circulation so they can't be used to carry out that threat. Doesn't mean that the person can't go get a firearm someplace else if they have a mind to and they're inclined to commit a crime and so forth. But the TRO seems like it creates a paper system. And the risk warrant does actual changes in the world. It makes things happen that really, really protect people. And what I'm afraid of, and this is going back to what I sort of was alluding to at the beginning, is that by making this presenting it as a rational alternative, as a reasonable alternative to the risk warrant, is going to make it less likely that people are going to seek a risk warrant when they really should be seeking a risk warrant. That's the problem. One of the biggest problems I have with this whole concept is that you're creating a parallel system that they're not identical, but they cover a lot of the same ground. And that's the problem I have, is that if you really think you're being threatened by someone and you think they have firearms, you should be seeking a risk warrant.